I would love to thank everybody for following me through our Back to Roots journey. You all know where I came from. You know that I went through some things. Life was lifing, and my hair started shedding, and eventually I had to get serious and do some things, right? So last April, I had hair transplant, and then I decided to cut off all my hair, and that was bold of me. I've always thought about what would I look like with all my hair gone, and I got to live it, right? At first, I wondered how people would receive me, especially me being the pressure of being a Sisterlocks Master stylist or a hair coach. And I am so grateful that all of you have opened yourselves up and supported me through this journey. And I'm hoping that what I shared, that deep, bringing you along in that journey and what I went through and some of the decisions I had to make. I'm so glad that some of you, the majority of you, have been so kind. You've been so supportive, and even up until yesterday, women still want to know what happened again. What happened again? And I always send those because there's a lot of details, so I send them all to YouTube. Look me up, Kirigo Kabuga, for the tea on what happened. And but look, this is over a year later, and I am loving this natural hair journey more then I think I spoke about it last time and I said, growing up, I didn't really love my hair, but I'm going to say right now, because I know myself and I know who I am, I'm loving all of me, hair or no hair, because this is it. This is the only chance I have to be me. And so, um, if they're for the women who are out there and are suffering hair loss and hair damage, I just want to, I just want to remind you that there are solutions today. It's just a matter of finding the support that is available to you. And even just this week, I had women reach out to me who come to my salon in Nairobi, just really asking me because they're going through it. They're in menopause, hair is shedding, all the things that happen because we don't have the right support. And so she asked me what I thought. She just wanted the green flag to know that she can go ahead and do this hair transplant and do all the things that her doctor has recommended. But there's a couple of things I advised her. When hair transplant was introduced, it was always focused on men. And therefore, there's a large part of that process that ignores the needs of a woman. And that's the emotional side, being able to talk to us, to allow us to see before we go through the process, to see videos or just to prepare ourselves for the journey, because I did go through it. I'm enjoying the results, but in that process, I was completely traumatized. And I wanted to speak on that, but I did go back and I've got a very great trichologist, and I did speak to his team, and we talked about what that meant for me as a woman and what it would look like for other women. And since then, I've had a lot of women reach out to me just to ask me, how was your experience compared to theirs and what could have been better? But they're really, one of the things that freed the women who had been through it before me was the fact that I named it. I called it out and I said it was traumatizing. And just acknowledging that just allows them to feel free to accept what happened to them, that it doesn't have to be a dirty secret that they went through by themselves, but they have someone like me who can speak out loud and share it and normalize it. And because women too need support, we need the same solutions as men. However, it also has to be geared, the services need to be rendered, and need to be rendered while observing a woman's needs. And that's really having that conversation on the emotional side. Yet I am enjoying myself. I've learned so much. I learned about hair fibers. If you got patches on your head and you don't have hair, I learned that there's adhesive. You could pour hair fibers and make it look like you got hair when you don't. I didn't really enjoy that process, but it was something that I came across that I hadn't known about. And I just realized there is so much in this industry, in the hair industry, in the beauty industry, and solutions that we are clueless until there's a need. I just want to say out there to all the women, if you're going through hair loss and feeling embarrassed and feeling self-conscious and maybe your confidence is down, I want to tell you that there are solutions. So hang in there, do your research, do your due diligence. The thing is, you're going to have to speak up for yourself, and it's important that you reach out to people who've been through it so we can support you as well, right? So, but yes, thanks again. This is a reach out to say thank you so much for supporting me during that early journey. And now we're on the second part of our route back home. I'm bringing you to my roots again. Not, and when I talk about roots, we're not just talking about the roots on my head and hair, but also the roots where I come from and how I was raised, the culture in which I was shaped, the morals and the values that my ancestors have passed on down to us. And I'm so excited to share some of that. So get set, get ready. I'm going to take you through some of the things. I'm going to speak a lot about my grandparents. It's through my grandparents that I learned a lot about my culture. And to be honest with you, it is because of my grandparents that I learned the Kikuyu language, because they spoke no other language but that. And so the summers that we stayed with them coming from Canada, the things that I learned, to garden, to harvest, to fetch water, to fetch firewood, to start a fire, to cook outside, to plant, a lot of survival skills that I learned from my grandparents. And I thank God that at the time, I used to feel like my dad was really mean by making us do that. But today, now that I'm mature and I saw the value of what I learned from my grandparents and all the wonderful stories and the not just the language, but the culture of the Kikuyu culture, which I hold dear and is the same rules and that I've governed and raised my children along. And I'm hoping that this is a continuation, that they will do the same, and so on and so forth. And so I want to celebrate my ancestors. I want to remember them. Get set and ready. We're about to delve deep into my roots. Back to my roots. Come along with me.